Hey guys, I am back with my newest album. As you can tell, it's a very chunky album. A lot of embellishments inside. It's actually a Christmas album, and I know right now it's July, but I've been working on this thing for about 3 months now, and it wasn't the theme of Christmas that I liked about it. Was the concept of how the album was made, which I will get to it more into that in just a minute. Now I have a little embellishment back here, so I'm gonna put that down there so I won't have it squished. And then this is the front of the album, and it is about an elf Christmas. And we have the elf house here, as you can see. Then we have our tree with the little bird, a couple little poinsettia berries or red berries. We have a couple little trees that I cut out on my laser cutter. If you have been thinking about getting a laser cutter, please do. The possibilities are endless. This was just a picture that I found online, and I did a screenshot of it. Then you put it in, I use Lightburn, and it'll trace it, and you can just cut out anything. I'll do a little video at the end of this if you've been thinking about it, just to show you some of the really cool things that you can do with it. Okay, now for the album concept is our little elf comes off. He has his little light that he's going through the forest in, and then of course his little hat with the bell. But I have 4 characters in here. We have a boy, a girl, a grandma, and grandpa, and they all have batteries. They all have magnets in the back of them, so you can move them throughout the album, and that's the concept part that I was telling you about that I really liked. And the thing that took so long was learning to knit. This little scarf right here I made, and I'm just gonna set him aside and show you the inside so you can see in the windows. So when we open the door, we have a little scene inside, and I hope you can see it. We have a couple of shelves at the top that have like a teapot and some teacups. And then we have a little table that's set with a pitcher, a plate of fork and spoon. Alright, and then on the spine, oh, so sorry, we have a couple of metal embellishments. I did some diamond stitching through it and a key. And then on the back, what I was showing you, we have a couple little Christmas trees that I cut out with my laser, some holly berries, leaves, and there's like a little rolled up parchment here in the post box, which you need to have a post box for Christmas, so Santa will get all of those letters. Now, hold on a second. Now, the clasp is the first time I've done this. It's folded on itself, and it has a magnet. I can't do it with one hand. And you can see little mama. I got a little too, grandma, I got it too close to the edge. The magnets. Alright. Okay. So you release the magnet, and it pulls out like that on this little hinge here, and we will put him back there. Go to our first page. Whoops. Come on. So our first page will come in a little bit. And we have a poinsettia. If you saw my video previous to this, I did show you how to make these leaves with that blotting paper. And then we have a couple little cutouts from our, yeah, well, they're not cutouts, chipboard pieces from the paper collection that I used. That I really don't have any left. It was 49 Market Winter's Edge. And then we have like a little wooden frame that we made with the texture, and you could put a photo underneath here. And then this is the same little hinge that's on the front. So this goes up, and then if I can get this top there, we have a little poinsettia with a couple little photo places. And sorry, that's part of my clamp. Alright, and then you have pictures that slide in through here. All these little sparkly ones that you see here, I use this diamond dust. Y'all may be familiar with it, but I wasn't. But it's actually crushed glass. Alright, for our next page here, we have a recreation of our little fairy house in the front. It did have two of the little little dormers right there, but this one kept hitting and kept falling off, so I had to nix that one. And then of course we have our little post box again. Let's see, I'm gonna hold this thing. Alright, and some more trees, and then this large tree I used a laser cutter on, and then I made some little ornaments that are tied throughout the tree. And then we have the fence. I didn't say anything about this little guy. I think it's a pot. I'm not really sure. I think it's a pot that's hanging upside down to dry or whatever. So we got some leaves through and some little pine cones. And then we have our little girl, and she has a sleigh there with some poinsettia, and then a little gift bag, and she is also magnetic. She's tied to her little sleigh. And this is my the other thing that I knitted. She was supposed to have a sweater, but I just learned how to knit a couple weeks ago, so it ended up being a shawl. So I think it's cute, still the same, and that is what took me so long to do this album, was to figure out how to knit. Alright, so she goes back there on her little magnet. Alright, for our next page, alright, we have a little center ornament here. And then I have a lot of the leaves that I showed y'all, some berries, and then a couple of little teapots, teacups in the background. And this is just a large mold of some air dry clay mold. And this just has a little tie here with a ring that has, well, just some little snowflake charms. And then you could fold it out like this for more photos. And then you can also slide photo through the top or through the bottom here. I'll just stick that there and do it later. For this page here, we have some ornaments that I cut some circular pieces and wrap them in fabric and decorate them. Now the center, that's like this window into the bedroom, I did cut out with my laser cutter, along with the top here, and then the snowflakes are also cut out with my laser machine. Alright, so this has a little metal closure, and then it opens up into our bedroom scene. And then on this side, it's just some little wooden frames. Some are made out of wood, some are molds that I had. Then we have our little baby elf. Let's see if I can get this closer. He is sleeping in his little canopy bed. We have another little lantern like the elf in the front that's is carrying. Then we have a little fabric Christmas tree, a little bead on it, and then his nightstand with some books and a candle. Then we have a little sack for Christmas presents, a little giraffe present here, of course his little rug, and his toy train truck. And this is just a little molded piece here. So he's just sleeping away. We got some little covers, a basket, and some berries there at the top. Alright, for our next page, we have some more photo mats. You can just slide a picture in here. In here, these are just cutouts from the paper collection, and then we have it decorated with some poinsettias, some berries. We have another little type of candle in there right by the poinsettia. These white pieces I cut out with my laser, and then these in the back, I don't know if y'all can really see them, but these brown is when I was cutting out some of the trees and I made them a little too small, but I used them anyway. Alright, on this page we have our grandfather, however y'all say it, and he is magnetic, so he moves around and sits. He has his little elf shoes on and his glasses with his big beard. And this is the rocking chair, and he sits on there curled up. Maybe I need to give him a book. Here we have a basket with some knitting. I don't know if y'all can see down there with the little tiny knitting needles. Then we have some little blocks of wood underneath the fireplace, and of course you can't have Christmas without some stockings, so I knitted those. And then on top of the fireplace we have some little candle holders, and then some poinsettia berries and flowers, and a frame at the top, a couple of them. Alright, for our last pages we have some photo mats. They're just held down with magnets. And then on the bottom here we have a lot of leaves, poinsettias, another one of those scrolls, and then we have some berries, and then they have two more of the little candles that I made. And then on our last page, let's set it up, we have our grandma. Oh, I lost her. Let's see. She's supposed to be holding a cupcake or a pie, and she comes off. She has her little apron and her dress and her tiny shoes. Alright, I'll mess with that later. With her little hat. And again, magnetic, she's just held right there. And then on the bottom, if you can see, we have a little cat in a basket and a ball of yarn. This one opens, the bead that I used. I don't have any fingernails. I always have trouble opening it. But there is like a little magnetic, if you want to move it, move her around, she'll stay in there. Or if you want to have him hiding in there, he will stay up in there with his magnet. And it's like a little cabinet there with some books in the background. And then we have some more of our frames and poinsettias, and decorated up more with that diamond pieces, diamond glass, whatever you want to call it. And so that is the end of our Christmas story. I hope y'all liked it. If you have any questions about anything that I made, just shoot me a message. And as always, please like and subscribe, and you can see more of my albums coming up. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye. Alright, so this is the Lightburn software program. I'm going to try to show as much as I can. My camera isn't really set up for my laptop, so you're probably just going to be able to see exactly what I'm working on. Alright, as far as I'm aware, Lightburn works with any laser cutter, and I'll show you after this which one that I have. So let's go to my files here. Now, the tutorial that I purchased, she had screenshots, pictures of the chipboard that you needed to purchase, and then she had links of where to buy it at. But let me show you. I'm going to start with this one here. I'm going to open that one. Okay, now you see the chipboard piece, and the picture is on a wooden background. So let me show you how this works. Back to Lightburn, and I'm just going to open and put the file in. Need to be all supported. And there it is. Okay. Make this a little bit bigger so y'all can see it better. Alright, so I'm going to right click in this trace image, and this is what we have. Alright, I hope it comes up on camera, but you can see it's trying to pick up the background for the wood and these kind of pinkish red lines. So you have your threshold, so you just move it until, okay, that one took away the lines from the chipboard that I want. Alright, so now we have nothing on the background, and we just have these lines on the item that we want to trace. So I'm going to hit OK, and this is what we have. So it traced out exactly what we wanted to cut. So let's do another one, another example. Alright, hold on, let's do it this way. Back in our album file. Alright. She had these windows. This one right here. Alright, so that was the shot of the chipboard piece she wanted you to purchase, but I had a little trouble with it. I'll just go through real quick. All files. Alright, So on this one, when I went to trace image and trying to get the background to go away, and that one took everything away. So when I got rid of the background, it had trouble picking up these X's in the background. I'll show you what I mean. Let me click OK. Okay. See how the points aren't connected? So I had a lot of trouble with that one, but let me show you how things worked out. I was in the video and then watching the tutorial. Is that a glare? Hopefully I can still see it. So I realized in the tutorial that it was two separate pieces. You could see the outside the window right here, and then she had laying over here the back side of the window. I could never get this one with the X's where she just kind of laid it by itself, but I had a clear view of this one. So I did a print screen. I have a Dell computer, so it's like the little window emblem with the 4 squares on it, and then print screen. And we had a screenshot. So I'm going to, go to my, here it is. There's our screenshot. And you can see it there. I'm going to open it. And I like to use photo. Okay. I'm going to edit and crop it. We just want to get that little window. Alright, so now we just have our little window. I'm going to save it. Or light burn. And all supported files. Oh, sorry. I need screenshots. Alright, so there is our cropped window. And that is tiny. And I'm going to trace it and adjust this. Alright, so I just have that pink outline of it. So I'm going to hit OK. And there we have our window. You can get rid of this box on the outside, but I'm not going to go through all that. So there is the option to use it from a screenshot. And I think I had one more. Oh, this one right here. This was This was also from a screenshot that I just cropped down. It's the Christmas trees on the back of the album with the little post box that I made. So we are going to put this one in Lightburn. Oh. There we go. So there it is there, the screenshot, same thing. She laid it down in a video. I paused the video and I did a print screen. And I'm going to trace it. And you can see it already has outline there. And it did pick up this line That line is when you are watching a video, you know, has the line at the bottom of the video where it's showing the place that it's the time tracker, whatever. So you can go in and crop this out on both sides in the box, but that is what our Christmas tree cuts out. Alright, so let's see, I bought this Sculpt Fun laser printer. I got it about Christmas time, but they have some on Amazon that's fairly cheap, and I believe all of the laser printers will work with Lightburn. You may want to search that if you find a laser machine that you like. But anyway, I hope y'all like the demonstration. I guess I will see y'all on the next video. Bye, guys.